You got that song done in how many days?
I wrote it the day after the hurricane, and we had it out. We released it 2 weeks later. 21 artists.
I mean, you literally went, it was like within 48 hours, you went from New York to LA to Miami.
I went from Austria to New York to LA to Miami, back to mix it in New York, and then we released it. I was on vacation when the storm hit, and I was writing it on vacation. And then I cut my vacation short to come home to start recording it. And it was basically like, first calling all the artists and making sure they could do it, and they said yes. And then the second call was like, okay, great, here's the song, Where in the World Are You, Carmen Sandiego?
How fast did you sort of put it on paper?
Oh, that was fast. That was an all-nighter.
First of all, the song is simple, right? It names all the towns on the island.
Yeah, deceptively simple. Making towns rhyme is tough.
Absolutely. You got it. But there's also a sense of pride when people hear their town in the song.
Totally.
Was that sort of, I mean, first of all, how did you come up with the idea of, I just want to name every town on the island?
I just thought that's something we can all agree on. My social media feed the day after the hurricane was like a roll call of towns. It was, has anyone heard from Vega Alta? There was this terrible silence coming out of the island. And we were waiting to hear from parts of the island, and San Juan came in a little faster than others. And it was like 5 days before I heard from my family. I think the first word we got was my cousin Denise in Florida found a picture of my uncle Elving, who you met today, on Facebook helping move boxes. And that's how we knew he was okay. It wasn't a phone call because there was no signal in Vega Alta. So in that silence, I thought, well, if we can actually put all 78 towns in, then every Puerto Rican, both here and all over the world, has a connection to it. Because when you meet another Puerto Rican, that's what you say. Where are you from? And it's, Utuado, it's Vieques, it's those towns. Those are our links to our roots. I snuck the name Vega Alta in my first Broadway musical, in the Heights, and I was very proud to do that. So then the fun becomes, oh my gosh, my favorite artist is singing my town's name, and so that was a joy to put together.
Who sings your town's name?
I have Ruben Blades and Juan Luis Guerra, who are two of my favorite songwriters of all time. So I stack the deck in my favor a little bit.
Talk to me about, because my producer mentioned this, he's like, imagine putting all those and making them rhyme and roll and do all that kind of stuff. So take me through some of the first ones.
Well, first I go on Wikipedia, check it out against my Puerto Rican tourism website, and make sure I've got all 78. Then you start, then your brain starts grouping by subject, right? Okay, I'll put all the sangs here. San Sebastián, San Germán, San Juan. Vega Alta, Vega Baja, Toa Alta, Toa Baja. That's been in my head my whole life, because my family's from Vega Alta, and we're constantly being confused with Vega Baja, Toa Alta, and Toa Baja. So those have been in a group in my head since I was 3 years old. And then the fun is in finding rhymes, Mayagüez, otra vez. The fun is in the incredible diversity of names that you can tell which ones have Spanish colonial roots and which ones have really Taino Indian roots, from Jayuya, which is a super Taino word, versus Trujillo Alto. And getting to play with all of these incredible words. I mean, that's what I do. So the joy of knowing that you're playing with these words, and also the responsibility of getting them right. Like I had one.
What did you stumble on?
At one point I had a rhyme that was Morovis, please. And my dad was like, it's Morovis. You can't say Morovis, it's Morovis. So I was like, oh, I can't do Morovis, please. So again, it's because this is their town. They're mentioned in the song forever. So you've got to get it right. I grew up with a song in 3rd grade. It's called 50 Nifty United States. Did you ever learn that song growing up?
No.
Oh, well, I can name all of the states alphabetically because of that song.
Can you really?
Yeah. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Jersey, New Hampshire, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming.
Now do that with Puerto Rico.
I can't. Alphabetically, I can't. The best I can do is the song I wrote.